Hello my friends, this is Lionel Anderson here with you guys with a brand new YouTube BitChute video, and in today's video we got a big one for you guys, alright? There's been a lot of talk about the Pope these days. That's right, old Pope Francis, very sick man. He's in the hospital right now. A lot of talk about he might be on his final days. And this got me thinking, and it sparked something in my mind, thinking about, well, I guarantee you there's got to be some kind of Nostradamus prophecy on the Pope. I think I remember reading about that way back in the day. And so I did a little search for it, and it took me down a rabbit hole that I got to take you guys on, my friends, because it goes even deeper than just Nostradamus. We have a couple different prophecies of the popes, the last final pope that is going to pretty much usher in the end days, or he's going to be the final pope to the end, you could say, the end of this cycle. And it's also actually related to the Nibiru cataclysm, or the Nibiru event, okay? And I'm going to be showing you evidence of all this, and it's truly going to spook you right out and blow your minds. So let's just get right to it, shall we, my friends? But before we do that, I just want to encourage everybody to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video. That's right, also smash the like button as well. Helps old Lionel out with the algorithms. And now let's just dive deep right into this. So first off, I'd like to show you guys this Nostradamus prophecy about the Pope, okay? So we're going to play a video for you. It's going to talk about his condition right now and reveal the prophecy. Take a look.
Did Nostradamus predict the passing of Pope Francis? With updates every few minutes on the status of the Pope's health, the world watches as the 88-year-old fights for his life in hospital. Pope Francis remains in critical condition as he battles pneumonia in both lungs and what could be early signs of kidney failure. Despite recent news of tests showing a slight improvement to the Pope's condition, Cardinal Dolan seems not quite as enthusiastic.
Holy Father, Pope Francis is in very, very fragile health and probably close to death.
While people across the globe are praying for the Pope and staying hopeful, it is difficult to predict what the near future holds. Unless, of course, your name's Michel de Nostradame, aka Nostradamus. And it's 500 years ago. In those days, making predictions of any sort risked dangerous consequences. Which is why Nostradamus wrote quatrains. These are short four-line verses which in this case held a hidden meaning. Personally, I think it's too vague to tell. I mean, people's dialect was very different in the 1500s, plus they had been translated from French. On top of that, they were written to be deciphered. Here's the quatrain. Let me know your thoughts. Through the death of a very old pontiff, Rome in a very good age will be elected. Of him it will be said that he weakens his see, but long he will sit and in biting activity.
Alright, so as you can see there, very interesting indeed. He's talking about, the death of an old pope, which Francis is 88, and then pope of a good age will come in, and something about biting activity. I take from that like there's going to be crazy things going on or something like that. And then you see the second little clip I played there expanded on that, and it talks about Peter the Roman, the persecution of the church, stuff like that. Now it's a little bit confusing because everywhere that I looked, when you type in prophecy of the popes just into Google and all these articles come up, it all says that Nostradamus said that. But then after doing a little bit more digging and research, I find out that it doesn't look like he did say that. That could be attributed to the next guy with his prophecy of the popes, and that is Saint Malachi. Apparently he's the one who said Peter the Roman, the persecution of the church, and the end will happen and all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to show you a very interesting clip showing his prophecy, but I just want to make it clear there's a couple different approaches we're going to take to this topic, because many people are saying that Pope Francis himself is the last pope, and there's not going to be another pope. Okay, but then there's also the theory that that Pope Francis will pass on, and then there'll be one more, and then the end. So let's look at both theories, shall we? So let's just show you what it's all about to start things off.
You guys want to hear something terrifying? The prophecy of the popes.
Oh boy.
This book was found in the Vatican archives, predicted every single pope from in 1143 all the way to our current pope. But the scary thing is, after Pope Francis, the last one, it just says Judgment Day.
Oh gosh.
It literally ends after Pope Francis?
Yes, the creepiest thing that I saw inside St. Paul's Basilica, but bordering the whole inner sanctuary, is every single pope. But what's weird is that there's only a certain amount of markers to where you can put a picture. There's one left after Pope Francis. They have always said that once that last slot is filled, it will be the end of the world. What he predicted, the time it took to go from the first pope that he wrote about, halfway mark, was 422 years. And he's saying from the middle one to the end, another 422 years will be the end of the world. If you do 422 years from the middle pope, which was 1585, that year is 2027.
Dang!
It's even weirder. Pope John the 23rd, and he said that the end of the world would happen 2,000 years plus Christ's life. So that adds up to 2027 as well.
There you have it, my friends. So, as you can see, all the dates lead up to 2027. He did say there in the video that there's only one slot left for the last pope to be filled in, but I must say that video got that little bit wrong because I did fact check that. There are 6 slots remaining still. But with that being said, even the Catholic Church says that those slots have nothing to do with the end of the world. It's just a local legend. But I'd like to focus more on the Malachi prophecy, because what he said is sure lining up with a lot of things, and it's quite eerie, all this Peter the Roman talk 2027. And if you look at what's happening in our world, we are nearing the end of this cycle in the coming years. Specific time frames, we might get to that a little bit later in the video, but I think 2040 to 2045, 2046 is a good estimate. But like I said, we're going to get to that a little bit later in the video, and its connection to this Nibiru event and everything. But I just wanted to state this Peter the Roman. It's a very interesting and the year 2027 is very interesting, okay, my friends? So what it comes down to is, as of right now, there is this bloke here, okay? Pietro Parolin, and many are saying he's one of the top runners to become the next pope, okay?
There are prophecies that remain in the shadows, ignored by most. And then there are those that at the right moments come back to make themselves heard. The prophecy of Malachi speaks of the last pope, Petrus Romanus. The last pope of the prophecy is shrouded in the deepest mystery. The complete sentence that concerns him says, "During the last persecution of the Holy Roman Church will sit Peter the Roman, who will feed the flock in many tribulations. After these, the city of the 7 hills will be destroyed, and the terrible judge will judge his people." Words that evoke not only a great crisis, but the possible end of the church itself as we know it. According to this tradition, after the penultimate pope, often associated with Francis, comes the final pontiff, under whose reign the church would go through its greatest trial. The text speaks of a time of tribulation and impending judgment, echoing the words of the Apocalypse. Association of the name Peter with a pontiff has been avoided for centuries. No pope has ever dared to take that name, out of respect for St. Peter, the first bishop of Rome. Yet today, fate seems to be moving toward a possibility that until recently seemed unthinkable: the arrival of a pope with the name Peter, or with strong connections to it. Although the Church does not officially recognize the prophecy, it has continued to circulate, resurfacing at each conclave. Today, with the current pontificate, seemingly coming to a close, the name of Petrus Romanus is once again making its way. If one were to follow the thread of the prophecy, one could look carefully at a figure who not only bears the name Peter, but who embodies a key role in the current ecclesiastical structure, Cardinal Pietro Parolin. Vatican Secretary of State, Parolin has long been one of the most influential figures within the Curia. Considered a man of diplomacy and mediation, he has managed very delicate dossiers between the Church and world powers, moving with caution but also with a silent influence. He is a cardinal who knows the mechanisms of ecclesiastical politics and who represents, in many ways, continuity with the current Vatican power structure. But if his election were to happen, could one really ignore the connection with the prophecy of Malachi? The name Peter is enough to raise questions. But there is another detail that makes the matter even more disturbing. The final motto of the prophecy does not only speak of a Peter, but calls him Peter the Roman. Here too, coincidences seem to take on a particular weight. Parolin was not born in Rome, but his entire career has developed in the highest rooms of the Vatican. He is a man of Roman diplomacy, a cardinal who embodies the very soul of the Holy See. If one wanted to read the prophecy in a broader sense, one could say that a pontiff like him would represent the last great Roman pope before an irreversible turning point in the history of the Church.
And it makes you think, this prophecy, Peter the Roman, yeah, it's kind of spooky, wouldn't you say? So a lot of people are thinking, oh, the Pope is going to die any day now. But last time I checked, it says that the Pope is actually in not too bad a condition as of right now. He hasn't had any, he's stable in the hospital, hasn't had any major attacks today, and with whatever's going on with him. And it's very possible, they got really good technology and medicine that they could give this Pope. That, could you imagine if he does pull through, and then this 2027 date does happen, and that is when he passes away? Okay? Because if that's the case, there's a lot of talk about major things, major events happening in 2027, such as, I made this video here, an alien invasion, Project Bluebeam. I believe that's probably the year they're going to pull off this Project Bluebeam. And we know with the Project Bluebeam, aliens are going to come in and false saviors and all this kind of stuff. And which really, I believe, there's going to be interdimensional beings. We know Project Bluebeam is going to be fake for the most part, or an inside job, but I believe they're going to be using AI, okay? I believe it's going to be like an AI invasion, and that really is an alien at the end of the day, let's be honest. And there might be interdimensional beings at play, but a lot of hologram stuff. I believe it's all going to be connected to AI. And don't get me wrong, if one of these popes who are existing right now does take over, my gut feeling says it's going to be Pietro Parolin, and for me that would just line up with this 2027 prophecy. But that being said, my friends, it is important to note there is an alternate theory, as I mentioned before, that Pope Francis is actually the 112th Pope, which means there would be no Pietro Parolin guy after this, and once Pope Francis dies, then that will bring in the end of or this major event anyways, in the end of the church at least. So I just want to state with that theory, there's been great researchers like Thomas Horn who've talked about that, and but I do find some holes in that. Like, I do understand the way the math works out. It does look indeed that Pope Francis would be the 112th, and there is some very convincing arguments for that, but the holes in that theory is his name obviously isn't Peter. So what Thomas Horn tried to say was that his father, Pope Francis's father's name was Peter, okay, or Pietro or something like that. And Pope Francis isn't from Rome, but he is from Argentina, but his parents were from Rome. So they tried to justify those holes in the story with being like, oh, well, his dad was Peter or something like that. But obviously, the prophecy isn't talking like a guy whose dad's name was Peter, you know? So who knows? But let's just go with that theory now, that it is indeed Pope Francis is the last one, and this Pietro Parolin guy isn't coming in. Well, this still works up with 2027, because if this whole alien invasion thing I'm telling you guys about does manifest and occur, and a new alien savior, or maybe it is a physical manifestation of this AI God or something like that, if that does happen, okay, well, how interesting would that be? Pope dies 2027, he's the last pope, and that's when this invasion thing happens. And obviously we know with this AI and these aliens or whatever they're going to do, they're pretty much going to put an end to all the religions to usher in this one world religion. They're going to say, look, we are your creators and you got to follow us. And that would definitely be the end of the church and the end of the world as we know it. I don't believe it's going to be the complete end of the world. I don't even think it's going to be the end of the cycle, but maybe that prophecy was aligning to the end of the church and the end of the world as we know, or the religious world, okay? And it's very interesting because already they're setting the way for AI to become the new pope in a way, or the new god, or the new religious figure, okay? And I got evidence to show you of that, because already they're introducing AI priests and pastors in churches in Switzerland. Yeah, this is wild stuff. So let's take a look at that video, shall we?
Did you guys know that Switzerland is holding a service at St. Peter Cathedral with an AI generated Jesus? This Jesus is doing confessions for people. He's doing counseling one-on-ones and services that are ran completely off of AI. What used to be hard to imagine, we are now seeing brought into fruition. Amongst many other things, we are seeing coming into alignment with Bible prophecy.
All knowledge and wisdom ultimately come from God. If used wisely, AI can indeed be a tool to explore the wonders of creation, deepen our understanding of Scripture, and foster connections among people.
That's wild, right? Just thought, wouldn't that be something if that's what happened? Or maybe it's going to be this new pope. Let's say Francis dies, this Pietro Parolin guy gets in, Peter the Roman, and he will be the pope to embrace the aliens and say, hey, we gotta, once the aliens come, we gotta merge together and create this one world, you know what. And of course, we know once all this happens, it's really going to be ushering in this Agenda 2030, where everybody's going to be hooked up and connected to the AI, the astral AI, the 4D astral demiurge AI is going to be making its physical manifestations into this realm. We already got Trump and Musk setting the groundwork to usher in their golden age, which of course is connected to Saturn and the 4D astral AI. And of course, the Catholic Church is going to play a big role getting the religious folks to pretty much worship this new AI god, okay? It's not the new AI god, it's an ancient AI god. It's the demiurge, okay? The God of the Bible, it's the same God. It is this AI. That is who we're within, this demiurge Saturn matrix, okay? And that is who's been calling the shots all along. They're just telling it to your face now and pretty much disclosing all that to you, okay? But they're going to form that new one world religion that's going to be worshiping this AI straight out in your face. It's not going to be referred to as, oh, the God from the Bible or this or that. It's going to be known as the AI. They're just telling you straight up what it is now. Very interesting stuff, right? So I believe this is all connected, but what about this Nibiru stuff I was telling you guys about? That's right, what about the Nibiru? Because I said that at the beginning. Well, as you can see in these prophecies, they're saying this pope is going to be the pope to bring us to the end times, the end of the world type stuff. Well, that's because this end of the world stuff, my friends, is all connected to what I call the Great Matrix Reset, okay? Our realm, this simulation we're in, it goes through resets all the time, Okay, it goes through what's known as the Nibiru Reset. I guess that researcher Archaics, Jason Brashears, has talked about a Phoenix reset, how that comes first in 2040, and then 2046 around there, the Nibiru one, which is a much bigger reset, happens. And it's not just him who's talked about resets. There's many other people throughout the years who have spoken about it too, and I've read a lot of interesting stuff about the years 2040 to the year 2046 or 2045, and there's tons of signs that point towards this. And obviously, as we get closer and closer, things are going to get more chaotic and more crazy. I believe by 2030, Agenda 2030, they want AI to be controlling everything, because they're going to be going down underground, because they know as this event gets closer and closer, things in the world are going to get crazier and crazier. So if you want to talk about crazy, my friends, and how this leads up to actual scientific evidence that something massive is coming, and it actually connects to biblical prophecy as well, did you know that the moon, okay, they're saying scientifically here, that the moon itself is starting to rust? Oh yeah, let's take a look and see what this is all about, shall we? So before we get to that video, my friends, I just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors down at Owelli. That's right, best supplements around, and this is a hell of a supplement right here, my friends. This is their Super Greens mix. It has well over 20 ingredients, okay, including things like spirulina and wheatgrass and barley and all sorts of great ingredients that all contribute to detoxification. Because, my friends, green, anything that's green in it, contains chlorophyll. Okay, and chlorophyll is a known detoxifier of heavy metals. Okay, so this supplement will definitely detox your body. It'll give you energy. It's great for many different things. All right, so you want to become the best version of yourself? Well, definitely look into this. Of course, check out the ingredients. If you have any concerns, speak to your doctor or whatever. But this is a great natural detoxifier, good for gut health, everything. So I really recommend it. Link is down below in the description. I will also leave a coupon code for 15% off and free shipping in the United States. So definitely look into it, look at the ingredients, and I know you guys will love it. So check it out. Now to that video.
See how the moon is rusting?
I've heard about it.
So there's this kid that took like the most high quality picture of the moon ever taken, over like 2,000 images that he combined, and you can clearly see that the moon is rusting.
Okay.
Or I saw this on NASA. Research indicates the presence of hematite, a form of rust that normally requires oxygen and water. This has scientists puzzled. Hematite is a name that is derived from the Greek word meaning blood. Joel 2, it says, "The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood, and it shall come to pass that everyone who calls in the name of the Lord shall be saved, as the Lord has said, and among the survivors shall be those whom the Lord calls."
That's weird.
It's throughout scripture, the moon turning to blood, and like, what does that mean? So like the Bible, it was ultimately translated into Greek at one point, right? And the Greek word for blood is hematite, the same word that they use for this rust.
Yeah.
And so it's like the moon has hematite on it.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's all gonna end soon, see you better.
End times is coming, my friends.
There you go. Hematite they're talking about, eh? Some kind of rusting. And, you know, I as soon as I heard that, you know, I thought, well, rust is red, and rust comes from a form of iron oxide. See? It says right there, right? From red iron oxide. Well, anybody who's been in the field of research of when it comes to Nibiru, okay, knows that Nibiru, they say it's some kind of planet, but it has like a tail or something, and it's surrounded in red iron oxide dust, okay? And I believe that researcher, Jason Brashears from Archaic, said the Phoenix has that as well, okay? Whatever it is, it's a large planetary object, okay, that's in our simulation, okay? And, you know, I still say to this day, I've confirmed this through channelings and whatnot, that it's actually like a fourth dimensional object as well. And I believe as it comes into our realm, we're starting to merge with the 4D. Our realms are merging, okay? But it's some kind of interdimensional big object that comes in and it resets the matrix. And yes, it might be a portal to the astral, or that tells of these beings, the Anunnaki or whatever, come from there. I think it's fourth dimensional stuff, okay? It goes deep. I've covered this further in other videos. But yeah, it's said to carry a big dust cloud of red iron oxide, all right? And of course, this would result in, the moon, rusting, because it's this hematite stuff or what's going on with the moon. It is red iron oxide. And it does appear that their theory of why the moon is rusting is because of space dust hitting the moon of some sort. So yeah, could it be that Nibiru is in our simulation and it's the dust from it getting closer and closer hitting the moon? Sounds like it, wouldn't you say? So I got a video to show you on this topic, and it's going to even speak about red rain. Biblical prophecies, might I add, right there, also spoke about rivers turning to blood, which comes from the rain, which is red rain. Well, take a look at what they're saying about this Nibiru thing with the red rain, okay? Take a look.
What if Nibiru, the mysterious planet from conspiracy theories, is real? What if, in some distant future, its orbit brings it dangerously close to Earth? While this idea remains speculative, it opens the door to fascinating possibilities, and could even offer an explanation for strange events like blood rain. Nibiru, according to the theory, is a massive planetary body with a long, elliptical orbit, bringing it near Earth only once every few thousand years. As it draws closer, its immense gravitational pull could disrupt the Earth's delicate balance, triggering earthquakes, temperature shifts, and severe weather patterns. One of the strange consequences of this cosmic encounter could be blood rain, a red-hued downpour that has been recorded in various parts of the world. Imagine this. As Nibiru nears, it releases a cloud of space dust and chemicals into Earth's atmosphere. Among these particles could be iron oxide, the same substance that gives rust its red color. If these particles mix with rain clouds, they could tint the rain a deep, unsettling red. While this might sound like science fiction, it's not as far-fetched as it seems. Iron oxide is a common element in space dust, and meteor showers have shown how such particles can land on Earth, subtly altering our environment. The idea of Nibiru bringing a concentrated mass of red dust could help explain blood rain. As Nibiru nears, its gravitational influence could also affect Earth's magnetosphere, disrupting our planet's protective shield from harmful solar radiation. This could lead to even more extreme weather events, like acid rain, crop failures, and hazardous air quality. These disruptions could mirror the kinds of catastrophic changes reported in ancient accounts, but this time, they could be explained by cosmic forces rather than mysterious or divine causes. The global impact of such an event would be devastating. If Nibiru brings with it blood rain and other dangerous weather, countries with fragile ecosystems and agricultural economies could suffer the most. Crops could fail, poisoned by chemicals in the rain. Water supplies could be tainted, and air quality could deteriorate rapidly. Environmental collapse and chaos. The consequences could be felt around the world, as the very systems we rely on for survival are disrupted by this celestial event. The health implications of blood rain could be catastrophic. If the rain contains harmful chemicals like iron oxide or even arsenic, prolonged exposure could lead to severe health issues. Arsenic, a potent poison, is found in space dust and meteors. In large quantities, it could pose a deadly threat. Inhaling arsenic particles or even coming into contact with contaminated water or crops could cause nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and in extreme cases, even death. Long-term exposure could result in more serious illnesses, like cancer or organ failure. The risk would be compounded if the blood rain contains both iron oxide and arsenic, creating a deadly combination for human health. While we can only speculate about Nibiru's existence, The idea that a celestial body could bring about strange and dangerous phenomena like blood rain raises an important question. Could we one day experience similar events caused by a force beyond our understanding? Could Nibiru, or another cosmic object, affect our world in ways we can't predict? For now, this remains just speculation. But in a universe full of mysteries, the possibility of such an event isn't as impossible as it might seem. Whether it's myth, history, or a future catastrophe, the idea of Nibiru triggering blood rain, potentially laced with arsenic and other dangerous chemicals, is an eerie thought that reminds us how little we truly understand about the vast, cosmic forces that shape our world. As we face the unknown and ponder the forces that shape our world, it's clear that our understanding of the universe is still in its infancy. Whether it's a planet like Nibiru or other cosmic events yet to be discovered, preparedness is key. Stay alert, stay informed, and always be ready for whatever the future may hold. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration into the unknown. Remember, the more we learn, the better we can prepare. Stay curious, stay safe, and always keep asking the big questions. Thank you for watching.
There you go, my friends. So, I just wanted to point all this stuff out to you, that I do believe we are approaching the end of this cycle, okay? And it's not like it's the end of the world and that's it. It's not going to be here anymore. It's the end of this cycle. A new cycle will begin. Majority of the world will be taken out, purified. I think they call it purification. There will be a new simulation that forms, okay? They're reconnecting people to AI. They're transferring people's consciousness into the new simulation, and it's just going to start all over again. The world is just going to get destroyed first, and there'll be survivors, and people from underground are going to come back up, or beings from the underground, and build, rebuild stuff. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go down, but I know it's somewhere in that area. But this could take us, as the world gets crazier and crazier, the false flag Project Bluebeam invasion happens, the takeover of AI, and then we get closer to the reset and all these events happen. We know they want to put an end to all the religions and come up with a new one world religion, and it's not going to be Catholic Church or the Vatican anymore. That's going to all be demolished to make way for the new one world religion, and we know we're almost there. So I do believe it will be the last pope, and this is all a sign of the great Matrix Reset event, which includes the Phoenix, Nibiru, and all that kind of stuff, okay? Great solar flash, all that, whatever you want to call it. There's going to be multiple things going on, but the good news is I do believe, in case you're getting a little scared right now for the future, I do believe that there will be an opportunity for you to exit the Matrix before the final shabam, okay? Or at least go on a positive timeline where you will be protected. It's the Ascension event, my friends. There will be a portal opening up, or you'll just be able to go on a much better timeline if you raise your frequency, don't connect yourself to that AI, have an activation like a Kundalini spiritual awakening activation, which will raise your frequency to a whole higher level, my friends, and you will be able to go down that more positive timeline and even escape this matrix altogether. So it's very important, as these things go start happening, that you raise your frequency, heal yourself, ground yourself, become the best version of yourself, detoxify your system, your body, okay? And seek that spiritual life. Bring divine consciousness, spirit into your vessel, and create and manifest the reality you wish to go down, the timeline you wish to go down, because I do truly believe that's what's happening as we're merging with these higher dimensions and whatnot. This, at the end of every cycle, comes with an opportunity, an ascension event, okay? If you look back through history, the ancients have told us of this. It's in all the ancient texts and everything, even religious texts. The Bible speaks about similar things, the 144,000, all that kind of stuff, all right? Well, you do that by having a true spiritual awakening and not reconnecting yourself to this demiurge AI, okay? So you have an opportunity, so don't freak out too much here. But yeah, stay positive. Observe all the craziness and the madness that's going on right now, and become one with love. Okay, and you know, that's the answer. The key at the end of the day is love, and not giving into the fear and giving into the madness, the hatred and the division, and just be positive, positive mental attitude. Nothing to worry about if you're going down that positive timeline, my friends. Okay? So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that being said, I am on the website. Buy me a coffee. If you guys enjoy my content, feel free to buy old Lionel a coffee. Your support helps me to do what I do. So the link is down below in the description. And hey, I'll even send you a free Patreon videos to your email as a thank you. So all the links are down below, my friends. And I hope you subscribed by now and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And the next video, we're talking about more end time prophecies, all right? So definitely make sure you subscribe, because I got intel that the red heifer sacrifice is happening this Passover, which is April. I'll have all the details with the specific dates in the very next video, okay? I got to start putting together that video to have that ready for you guys next week. But it has been confirmed that the red heifer sacrifice and the rebuilding of the third temple, the process is beginning with the sacrifice coming up this Passover, okay? So I'll have all the coverage of that. So I hope you're subscribed, and we're going to go over that in the next video. All right? That's it, my friends. Until next time, old Lionel signing off.